Welcome everybody to the Fantasy Vision, the Fantasy Football Vision. I'm your host Cody. We're gonna break down the running backs here, and I just said the quarterback one. I'll put a link down below to the quarterback ones. That one went about 20, 18, 17, 20 minutes. I'm gonna try and keep this one shorter than that for running backs. And let's hop into this. At number one, I have Fournette. He is the best running back prospect in this draft. He's drawing comparisons to AP and whatnot. He is a bruiser. Best back in the draft, follows blockers well, and has speed, quick, size ratio. He's quick and fast for his size. That is key. Some things that I don't like. I have a really small chance this is true, but I kind of have a Trent Richardson-like sleeper bust opinion. And I don't think he will be a bust, but there's about this 2% chance that just like, is he really this good, or are we missing something? I haven't watched a whole lot of tape on him. I've seen very little of him, actually. But it's there in my mind. And like when Richardson came out, he was heads and tails above everybody else. And you can say that about Elliott last year, too, that, they had this above standard for him. But I'm not saying Fournette will be a bust at all. I don't think he will, but there's just this little bit. The reason why I said is sometimes he doesn't always follow his blocker, or he doesn't take advantage of his blocking very well. Like, he doesn't read the hole and hit it right away. Sometimes he waits a little too long. Not saying that that's on every play, but once in a while it happens, and that's kind of where I got that opinion from. As you know, Richardson would just run into asses of all of his linemen all the time. He is a pure power runner, which worries me. Is he going to get taken on third downs? Are his hands good enough? That could be a problem. And is his blocking good enough to be in pass pro to really help him there? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I think he's the best running back of this class. I think he's going to have 6 to 8 years of 1,000 yards rushing. We'll see what happens in total. If he goes to the right offense where they're going to utilize him and give him the ball and run the power I and just give him 10 or 15 to 25 carries a game, which is a big margin, but if they can give him 20 carries a game, let's say, I think he'll be a very successful back in this league. And yeah. At number 2, I have Dalvin Cook. I miswrote his name on the thing. I have him as like a Matt Forte comp. I don't think he'll ever be recognized as an elite back, but I think he'll be a good player. And when I say Cook, or why I say a Forte comparison is he's a good one-cut runner, good hands, he's great balance, great lower body strength, breaks arm tackles, and he's got good size to him. He's not a power guy. Matt Forte is not that. Not great at blocking. Forte was a decent blocker, but it kind of took time. But there is some injury risk to him as well, but that could have been said about Forte when he came out as well. But I think Cook will be I think he'll fit that mold, and I think he'll be a good player. If he goes to a team like the Colts, who could utilize him and sit behind Gore a little bit, I think that'd be a good move on their part. Next, at number 3, I have Christian McCaffrey. I don't like McCaffrey as much as everybody else does. And I think the reason for that is I feel like, and it's not because he's a white running back, it's just, I don't know if he's going to be an every down back. I kind of feel like he's going to be that Reggie Bush kind of like guy where he's going to get utilized only in certain situations. He'll be more of a third down guy who can carry the ball on first and second down here and there. And that's my concern. He's not a big guy. Like, he's got good size, but he's not a big guy. And he doesn't always break tackles. He tries to outrun everybody. And at the next level, I don't think that's going to be possible to do. At 4, I have Joe Mixon. The character concerns, his issues. He's got some injury issues as well. I just think Joe Mixon might be the most well-rounded running back in this draft class. But he might not get drafted till like the 5th round. We'll see what happens with there. Obviously, there's some downsides with the injuries and stuff like that. And he didn't get a whole lot of touches last year, I don't think it was. And he missed the season as well. We'll see what happens there. Number 5, I have Donnel Foreman. I can find where he's at on my sheet. Donnel Foreman, I have him as LeGarrette Blount 2.0 with a little more speed. He's a power back that looks to make contact and goes through first contact. And he's got good vision. He's not quick, obviously, but he can kind of, he'll make his ends meet, basically, run between the tackles and getting upfield. And once he gets upfield and gets past that first and second level, I think he'll run over safeties and cornerbacks when he gets there. I think he's going to be a first and second down guy more or less at this level. But yeah, he's not as quick, obviously. It's an okay blocker. In his hands, we don't know how he's going to be catching the ball, and he has had a couple fumble issues in his career. At 6, I have Alvin Kamara, who has got good speed, good athlete, decent runner, receiver. Has a very big nose for the end zone in his college career. I think that kind of goes understated, especially in the fantasy game. I think he could be a guy that will be big play possibility. He'll maybe be more of a spell back. I don't know if he'll be a career starter, but he'd be a good mix and match back with someone who is more of a power back. We'll see what happens there. Not a short yardage guy, obviously, and like I said, I think he could be a spell back. He has had some fumble issues. I have him listed as more of a more physical Ryan Matthews. We'll see what happens. I think that's a decent comp. I don't know if that's what his career will turn out to be like, but I think it's a decent comp. At 7, this is probably the most surprising pick one that I have. I have Jeremy McNichols. I like McNichols. I have him. This is a very easy cop-out, but I have him as a mixture of Doug Martin and Jay Ajayi. Martin's a little more fast. Ajayi's a little more power. I think he's a good in-between. He's got very good vision. Decent receiver. But the problem is he's not the biggest guy. He's at 5'9", 210, 215, something like that. He needs to bulk up a little bit, but not too much. He's got a good svelte body, though. That's the good thing, though. And I think that's what's going to help him is he might take that MJD kind of look to him and be a poor man's MJD as well, where he can run through you and kind of run by you as well if need be. But he's not the fastest guy either. He's got some fumble issues and not the best blocker. It could be some lazy scouting on my part, but that's my take on him. At number 8, I have Brian Hill. Where is he on here? Brian Hill. Good body, good frame. I have him as this year's Jordan Howard. He's got the same size and same build. He's kind of the power guy, but he has enough speed to get there and go. Lower shoulders and can carry and push piles. That is going to be a big thing for him. I think he's going to be that power back for somebody that will definitely help them out in short yardage. He can be too patient at times, not an edge threat. He doesn't break it outside, and he's not a positive receiver. Not always a bad thing, because those are things you can learn, but he's going to have to learn them if he wants to be a 3-down back at this level. At number 9, I have Kareem Hunt, who has good size, quick feet, patient, doesn't fumble. I think he's had one fumble in his career at Toledo, and he's a decent pass catcher. So I think he could be a guy who could fit in and get you 10 carries a week. I don't know if he'll ever be a career starter, obviously, but he's got the potential. He's not fast, no fifth gear, not explosive, not a positive pass blocker, some injuries and some character issues. I don't remember what the character issues off the top of my head, but I have it written down, so I have to go back and rebrush that up to see what they were exactly. At number 10, I have Marlon Mack. He is out of University of South Florida. I have him as a Reggie Bush-ish like person. What I mean by that is he likes to break everything outside. He's quick enough to do that, but I don't think he's nowhere near as elusive as Bush was in his college days. He's quick. He's a one-cut guy, so if you can get him in a zone blocking scheme, he might actually excel as that kind of a player. He needs to add some weight. Like I said, he tries to bounce everything outside and can expose the ball a little bit at times. A little bit too much at times. And the NFL level, you can't do that because they're going to be stripping and going for going for strips, getting to that ball, and he can't be doing that, and that could be a problem, especially if he goes to a team where they're going to punish you, like in New England, where if you fumble, it doesn't matter. They're going to get somebody else. Number 11, I have Samaje Perine. He's a power back. He's got good ball security. He's a decent pass blocker. I have him kind of as Marshawn Lynch-like, where he's more of a bulldozer. He's going to try and carry people and run through them. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near as good, but I kind of have that as a... You've seen the Beast Quakes and stuff like that, runs where he just powers through people. I think Samaje Perine can kind of do that. Injuries, he's not fast. He needs to get better vision. So if he's in an eye power formation, eye back, whatever, or power formation, he'll excel in an offense like that. I don't think he'll ever be a single back, one cut and go guy. We'll see what happens. I don't really know if there's a place for him that would really work well that does a power game that doesn't already have somebody established, obviously. But he could be a good backup for somebody to be a short yardage back. At 12, I have Jamaal Williams, the guy from BYU. He is kind of... Where's my thing at here? He's got a positive build, power, and agility. He's a good catcher. Not catcher, sorry. He's got good power and agility. He's not a top-end speed guy, and he's not an elite pass catcher of the backfield, but he has the capability of doing that. I don't think they used him in that role, if I'm correct. But he's kind of built like a short, stocky, not necessarily short, I think he's 6'1", but I think he's like 220, 222, something like that. And he's got a good build. He's going to be able to run through people. He's going to break those arm tackles, and he's a positive runner. At 13, I have Wayne Gallman, the do-it-all, jack of all, but not, or good at everything, but not great at anything. He's probably the best pass blocker of the whole group. And at 13, I feel like he's going to be a perfect spellback, third down complement guy, and that would be great. I think he's kind of in the ways of a Frank Gore, kind of for a running back. And he could be a successful guy for 10 years in the league. At 14, I have Corey Clement. Might be a little biased as a Wisconsin fan, obviously, but I do think he's a good, powerful downhill runner. He's not top end speed good, but he gets going. I think he could be a guy that'll could average 4 yards a game. I think that's something that he could be a good spellback, a change of pace guy. If you have a quicker, speedier guy in there, hey, we need to give somebody an off speed or at the end of the game an off pace kind of guy. He could be that guy. I don't think he's had a whole lot of pass catching experience in his career. If I go through my notes here again, not a great receiver. And his pass pro is going to be kind of sketchy at times, so we'll see what happens with that. And at 15, I have Donnel Pumphrey. He's a small guy. He's the all-time leading rusher, which kind of worries me. Where there are too many carries. Is he going to be like a Dre Archer? Is he going to be a specialist kind of guy that you bring in on third and down, or is he going to be just a pure special teams guy? Is he going to make a roster? I don't know. I think he could be a good upside guy who could give you some yards and some swing passes and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. I think I have him with an analysis, a player profile, a Darren Sproles 2.0 kind of guy. He's got a lack of power as well. So we'll see what happens with that. That's my top 15 running backs, guys. We have been the Fantasy Football Vision. Like I said, follow us on Twitter at the FF Vision. And I've been Cody, and I've been your host, and we'll be back. Hopefully, I'll do another one of the receivers next and the tight ends. This video should have been shorter, more of an abrupt thing, or more of a condensed thing. Probably not the best information. Like I said, in the comments down below, let me know what you think. Do you think I'm crazy because you think such and such is a better running back than I have him rated as? Or do you agree? I might be wrong. I might be right. We'll see what happens come draft day. And after the draft, Tom and I will be breaking down some of the picks and where we like people went and what we think of them. So that'll probably be a longer 3 or 4 part episode or videos. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.